but it has to be done. And it's not, especially where there's a vacuum. And we all remember where we came from. What I mean about is the dictatorship. We all know what led us to where we are today. I mean, from the First Republic, there's a lot of credit we give to the First Republic, but again, it's that complacency. That complacency, and that partisancy, that breed the corruption, and then here we are. And we need to get out of this. You know, if you fight corruption, if you fight against people who are corrupt, they're bound to push back. And pushback come in different forms. Some people, they will try to defend their relatives. Come may what? I mean, instead of, yes, we should defend our relatives, but tell them the truth. That's what defending them is. And others will come in to defend their friends or people they know, based on what they know about them. But it is not what you know about them we're talking about. We are talking about a context. Please come in and deal with the context, what we talk about. And as we did in this article, the evidence is plain sight. And I know people like, where's the evidence? Look, the evidence are always on plain sight. It's different ways you find evidence. It's a different ways you find evidence, but people would like to say, where the evidence? But until it affects someone else, they are happy to say, oh yeah, you're doing a good job. But once it affects them, it's difficult. I mean, they will have to come and try to defend, oh, this is not the person I know. But all the people that disappoint you are the people that you trust. All the people that disappoint you will be the people you trust. And that is something that just we need to put out there. I mean, to carry the conversation. As I said, we are not here to confront or to fight or anything. No. End of the day, we just want social justice. We want equality. We want the rule of law. We want that democracy. We want that progress for our nation. For God's sake, we are in 2024. Gambia is going as a country that's not viable because of the leadership we have. And if we talk about that leadership, we're not only talking about Adama Barrow. We're talking about leadership across the board. There's so much so-called, I will emphasize, Gambian intellectual. You'll never see them engage in anything. But behind the scenes, they're in their forums. They're in their one-to-one. They know all the problems. They have all the solutions. But they will not come out to talk about it. Because it will affect them in one way or the other, be that their consultancy, be that person that it's affecting, it's their family, it's their friend, or they themselves have so much in their closet, they cannot stand out. That's why I said what we do is not easy, but I can tell you, as far as Allah gives us the will, Allah gives us the strength and the guidance, we will be here and do this. This is part of our citizen duty. This is not part of, it's nothing else, but our citizen duty will do that. Why is this subject very important? Pensioners. You see, many people have contacted me, why so much obsessed or kind of defend these pensioners, and you never see pensioners coming out. That time you don't see them coming out and talk for themselves. I said, that's what society is. Because if people don't do something that directly affect them, they don't do anything about it, but it's our responsibility to try to get them to wake up to it. We try to avert disaster. When you deal in issues, there are going to be a process, and it's going to be a daunting process, but that doesn't make it to stop. But those people talking about and pointing to pensioners, no. It's affecting them themselves. But they are seeing it as a pensioners problem. Social Security is an institution. And people that work in the Gambia rely on this institution, most of them, now over 140,000 of them, for their future. To give them back their investments and benefit so that they can continue to live a dignified life. But again, Social Security plays a role in our development. It plays a huge role in our development. It's one of the most liquid institutions we will have. And that money or monies need to be invested prudently so that it will impact on our economic growth. And that economic growth, that's what benefits of all of us, be in the diaspora or out. Because when people get better off, obviously you have less to commit to friends and family that you support. I mean, and again, as I said, always the measure here, it's not about even monetary. The measure is the pride. That the pride you have from knowing that your country is advancing, the pride you have from seeing your people happy, the life and people living in dignity. That's what it's about, and that's why it's important to look at social security. What it is, what we're discussing here is affecting not only the workforce, the active workforce, which is 140,000 contributors. Active workforce. But the pensioners we talk about is only 3,000. It's only 3,000 people drawing pensions in the Gambia from the Social Security. Just from one. And we heard about pension crisis all over the globe for different reasons. Pensions are a very difficult, delicate thing to manage. Life expectancy and all the things do come and play. That's why it needs very sophisticated management, smart, honest, to drive these things and deliver. In the United Kingdom, where we have state pensions, but we have 2 to 3 tier systems. That where people can even invest privately for their pensions and get supported by employees, but there's a state pension. But we always know we have a state pension crisis, where now every other time the state is coming out to say, oh, the pension port, we will have to look at people life expectancy are getting longer. We have to increase the pension age. Probably some people younger than us they will try to be pushing them to pension, their pensions to be 72. Because to manage the payouts. Right now it's about 66. It was 60, and as time goes on, even before or 60 was 55. But it keeps on going, and not only that, even private pension funds have problems before in the investment or the way they were managed. But we know when there's a problem, there's always a solution, and the solution was to regulate the market. To regulate it better, and bring out transparency and so on. This is why we engage in it. It's a very important area to look at. If not, even the provident contributors might not only not gain profits or interest into their investment, but they might lose their investment. And the other reason why it's so important is we know the history of this institution. The institution started from zero, and these are the things we credit the Jawara government for. After 1982, one of the reasons they realized was there's a lot of disgruntlement, there's a lot of people marginalized from the workforce and so on, and there's a need to have something like the Social Security Housing Finance Corporation in order to support the economic growth of the country. This was the reason they strategized and started from nowhere, from a small office, to it became what it is today. But we know within a short period, Social Security developed to the extent that when the dictator came, unfortunately, people like Mambo Njai, that's why I always say the intellectuals, and that's why I said when you talk about anybody here, it's someone who related. Mambo is someone I can call a relative, I can call a brother. Someone like Mambo Njai come out to educate the dictator about the liquidity of Social Security. And we know what the history is about that, to the point of bankruptcy, to the point of going nearly bankruptcy. Still, they have not recovered some of those bad investments that the Gambia government went through with Social Security, from the investments in NAWEC, from the investment in the ferries, they bought, and most of other things. But this is why we say that there's always something here. I'm keeping it brief. We knew when Barrow came, Social Security was an urgency, and we all heard the coverage Social Security had in the Jani Commission, and a dynamic managing director was sought after. Someone who have a track record not only in the Gambia but in the international community in financial management, who came and turned it around within months. Within the year, it turns around and started to move on. And yes, what he did, some of it or most of it was in magic, but it's the prudency, the honesty, and make sure the operational cost. Let me emphasize on this, on the operational cost. You see, Jammeh did something, but does not mean that the workers were not, Jammeh did not only come and force them, but it's like Jammeh facilitated for them to do what they wanted to do. They were spending millions and millions to say that they were operating these funds, which were not prudent at all. They were, doing everything to buy out leverage on different people so that they cannot be held accountable and so on and so forth. How they were spending on gamos, on high tickets and benefit for staffs in a unrational way when pensioners were not getting the benefit. The benefit they should be getting, and this we all know what happened from there on. And within a short period, it recovered. The investment started to look good, better, and so on. Guess what? Corruption, as I said, when you fight, they fight back. They fight back to the point when Barrow himself, because he lacked the political win, when Barrow wanted to replicate exactly what Jammeh had, obviously Mohamed Manjang had to go. And removing Mohamed Manjang was not only it, he had to remove the board of directors that were supporting the position of Mohamed Manjang in order for them to realize the management again. If I said Mohamed Manjang, he was not alone, but he was the leader. The buck would have stopped with him. But with his management, they turned around things, but they had to let them go. They have to let him go. And the chairman, board of directors, and the board again had to be moved in order for Barrow to be able to replicate what Jammeh did. And in this, we see the same system work out again. And Barrow did this because of many things that he wanted to do to benefit himself. And one of those, I can tell you, is the ownership of Gum Petroleum. Because Social Security Housing Finance Corporation had a big investment in Gum Petroleum, just as other parastatals like Port and others. But there were shares from Gum Petroleum that came out from the Jani Commission, when the Jani Commission took a decision that the shares of Mohamed Basi had to be taken back and given back to government for what Mohamed Basi did to government. Now, in order to compensate that government, and these people like Mohamed Manjang, who was the chairman, board of directors for Gum Petroleum, and wanted these shares to be sold to the parastatal, especially Social Security or ports or so, to keep this, lucrative or good investment within the state, in a sense, extension to the state. But obviously, Barrow wanted that to go into to a company which was even a foreign company, a foreign company, which he benefits from, which we heard about allegations. I emphasize allegations of the wife holding shares in that company. I forgot the name of the company again, but we have covered that before. But with other reasons, with the interference of which we are going to touch, wanting to use procurement of bosses to get kickbacks, and those bosses for the subsidiary that Social Security had, which is the GTFC, and those things and others were the controversies. But we have seen exactly the role played here, and that's where Salu Malang came to fray. As I said, I don't know Salu Malang as person, and that's not what matters here. It's Salu Malang's track record. For Salu Malang is the one who walks around to say that Barrow is his brother. Now, it have become very clear from people from Basse to make it clear. I can tell you, even people that work with him, close, that he tells that, oh, Barrow is my brother, don't know what the relationship is. They thought he's a cousin of that very close relationship. Yes, they have a very close relationship, which is an association because of their neighborhood. They all came from the same neighborhood, but Barrow is a good friend to his elder brother. That's where the brothership came from. But this same Malang brother, I forgot the name, Barrow appointed him ambassador in Qatar. Remember, Yahya Jammeh appointed his brother as ambassador in Qatar. Now, when Yahya Jammeh started to get hold of Social Security, what did he do? He one of his uncle Jiba or something like that was head of Social Security twice for that matter, and make sure he got rid of anybody who would be an obstacle. Barrow did the same thing here. Salou Malang, I mean, from people that work with him, that know him, what they said, his competency is completely in question. And he was taken into, when Barrow came to GIA, or whether promoted, Barrow either took him to GIA or promoted him in GIA to run GIA, but it was a disaster. To the handing over of GIA, for him to hand over GIA was a problem. Some things have to be negotiated. He did not leave GIA well. When someone else came and took over from him, I think that guy was ND Chan. But this went on. Barrow sent him to another strategic position, which is the GPPA, Gambia Public Procurement Authority. We all know that body is an oversight body that ensures that the procurement that government does is done properly, and so on. But I can tell you, when he was there, we covered cases of him facilitating many things that Barrow wanted to be done. And from the GCCAA procurement of fertilizers and so on and so forth. You see, we are not picking on the guy, we are looking at the track record. And obviously when Barrow took out Mohamed Manjang, he was replaced by Tambedu. Tambedu was seen as a very, because Tambedu stood up to Barrow, or the coalition for that matter, and Barrow for that matter, when he was the managing director of ports, because that's when they wanted to do a deal for the contract to rehabilitate or rebuild ports or so on, and he put his foot down because of the kickbacks and other things. He put his foot down. What happened? They went to Senegal. The then infrastructure and transport minister went to Senegal and signed that bad contract. Thank God that contract did not go through with the Chinese. But he was punished. He was removed as managing director and taken to a GPO, Gambia Post Office, which is a dead institution compared to this thing. But he stayed there, he suffered. You see, this is another Jammeh strategy when you are discouraged and suffered, and he was rehabilitated and brought back to Social Security. He was brought to Social Security to take over from Manjang. But because I can tell you, because of the position we stood to hold Social Security accountable and hold him accountable, did help him. This is something that he tend of admit behind the scenes. Help him, because we exposed what Barrow wanted him to do. We exposed what the board was going to do. Then the same board was still there, and the board, forgot the board name again, Mr. Jallo, chairman, did struggle. To stop what was happening. But hence we put pressure. Now he had to try to amend the deal, and still went with the deal. But that wasn't even satisfactory for Barrow, because Barrow wanted more. Then obviously Tambedu have to be removed, and he brought someone who will comply. That's how Salou Malang came to Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. I think this is important to put for people who have not followed, or people who have forgot the history of how this thing came about, and how Salou Malang came to the position of being the managing director of Social Security Housing Finance Corporation. It's not because of his competency, it's because of his relationship with Barrow, close relationship, family, close relationship with Barrow, that's brought him to the position. And because of Barrow want to replicate everything that the IJM did, that's why he put him there. And not only that, and Barrow had to remove the chairman board of directors, Mr. Jallo, and brought in another person called Remy Joyner. As I said again, Remy Joyner I can call a brother. I'm not going to go into the relationship, but as I said, Gambia, we can be related in many ways. Just as I explained, Barrow being related to to Salum Malang just because of they were neighbors and the brothers. He's a very close friend of the brother. They were in the same class, or so on and so forth. But Remy is the same thing. It's not easy to talk about these things. But we are Remy's background tells you. People that know or follow the Janneh Commission should know, because everything did not come out of Janneh Commission. But this were the people called the God bankers. They were the dictator bankers, and in Trust Bank. And we all know how Jammeh used Trust Bank. I can tell you, the entire thing did not come out, because the other aspect of money laundering and all the things that Remy and Panjai and other facilitated is very evident. People know about that. And again, the question, even the integrity of Remy is easy again. When he went to become, he went and joined the NPP and become one of their executive members for Banjul. He knew that it was a conflict of interest. Barrow appointed him as deputy IEC chair. He accepted this thing until people pushed that he had to be removed from that, then taken to Social Security. What that tells you that he's not a person of quality to be a chairman of board of directors. He's conflicted. He would do something that's not right. Thank you, Jovis. But again, we are not only talking about the track record, but what happened when he came on board. As I said, we put in this brief. I have to move fast. Let me, in fact, bring the latest what brought this conversation about the coverage. If you just bear me a minute. And we receive from many sources. You see, and I'll talk about this later. When we say insiders, it makes people to look straight into Social Security or into ports or something. No, insiders. People have insight in many ways. People forget that there are many ways that people have insight. That's where I operate from. It's not always I operate very close to where the game is played. No, I actually, most of it play time. In fact, I operate outside, because very close in times you might be compromised in a way that you might not realize that they play you. But from very outside, we know how to get information. We know how to look at information. It's not everything that comes onto our desk we just run with. There's a amount of due diligence to look into it, to try to investigate as much as possible. And if I said, I keep on saying, if I said we, I'm not only referring to me, but again, there are other people with different backgrounds, with different experience in finance, in law, in other things. We sit down and look at it and say, yeah, it's plausible. There's evidence there. We demand evidence, and sometimes, most of the time, we will not share the evidence because it's not prudent to do it that time. But we hold onto it ready for, if there's a legal issue, we can bring out our evidence and defend ourselves. That's why we have that courage to do what we do. From an insider, tell us about a case of motor vehicle purchased by MD Salum. And not only motor vehicle, and it's about allegation of corruption that he did. I'll go through the article to make it quicker. It says, in recent years, the Social Security Housing Finance Corporation has faced numerous controversies, primarily centered around its managing director, Salum Malang. Once again, substantial and reliable information highlighted MD Malang irrigated actions. Here is an in-depth look at what Salum Malang among the Gambian most corrupt managing directors. MD Malang, Salum Malang has blatantly disregarded Social Security Service rules and regulations securing personal benefits illegally within a year of his tenure. He obtained a building loan of over $2 million despite service rules mandating a minimum of 2 years of service before eligibility. This is a fact. It happened. We've seen the paperwork for this, and it happened, and he have not denied it. Why? Down the line we'll explain, because of this was discussed in their WhatsApp forum where we have access. That's why I said, our insider was outside, but because of our coverage, that lets us inside to the extent of getting inside their WhatsApp forum. He did admit taken this loan. He did admit, I mean, it's a fact that he took the loan before he served the period, But the interesting part about this is they try to legitimize the position which was wrong. And one of our expert advice, when he looked at the documents, let me get to that message. I mean, one of the expert advice, when they looked at the document, I at times use plural deliberately because I don't want to reveal the gender. The person explained, I am intrigued by this. It is highlighted the financial director lacked the confidence and decisiveness. In this instance, she does not need to seek the board chairman's approval. What Salum did was, when the service rule said that you have to be 2 years or more to able to apply for this, he could not wait. With all the benefits, salary he had, his paid and everything, he could not wait to access this loan. Because these loans are cheap. The interest are cheap. He wanted it, he went to the chairman. That's what I said. He went to the chairman for the chairman to look the other way and approve it. But the chairman does not have the power to amend policy. The chairman serves as an override, but he doesn't have the powers to override policy. And that's what our partner said. The policy does not the policy does not grant the chairman discretion to modify policy detail. If he does so, he will be overstepping his authority, and any such amendment won't be valid. You see how they went around it? That's why I say when we present something, we present it because of we look into it. We look into this before. The evidence, he was not entitled at that time. He used his authority, but why would the chairman do that? There are many other things, because we're just covering what the management bank does here. We are waiting for the go ahead to in fact cover what the chairman is doing with the managing director. But this is what they did. The appropriate course of action is to wait until all conditions are met before granting approval for formally tabling policy reverse to allow for discretional decision or adjust the qualifying criteria. You do not know that. You just have to wait for time to happen. Now, this thing happened. That's one allegation that was put forward, and which we have evidence it's true, which he did not deny. It says Mr. MD Salum Malang has blatantly disregarded Social Security Service rules and regularly secured personal benefit illegally. Within a year of his tenure, he obtained a building loan of over 2 million despite service rule mandating a minimum of 2 years of service before eligibility, adding to that, he secured a vehicle loan of 1.2 million whilst already enjoying a full-fledged utility vehicle at his corporation expense. He went on to take another vehicle loan. You see, they take these loans, it's an abuse because it's cheap. He was not entitled at the time. Again, he went and took another loan when pensioners are not getting or the investments are not looked after properly. The allegation continues. He has an official vehicle allocated to which is over 3.5 million, and a utility vehicle for his family, fully fuel at the expense of the pensioners. He already have a utility, a vehicle, official vehicle allocated to him, which costs 3.5 million. But again, there's a utility vehicle allocated to his family and fueled by the corporation. The utility vehicle is not in service rules and is thus illegal. He allocated himself, because he's a CFO, he allocated himself a vehicle for his family as utility vehicle, which is illegal. Which too is illegal. And he cannot deny that because the evidence is there and he knows it's true. He also took a vehicle loan, pushing his take-home pay below the regulator, labor and social security service rule requirement. Such action highlight his misuse of authority and prioritizing personal gains over corporate and public interest. What this means is, by taking these loans, it's making sure, this is ensuring that what he takes home when they do the deduction is below what is allowed according to the labor and the service rule. And the rules are put there for a reason. The rules are put there for a reason, especially for low-income earners, not to be in financial distress, because that means that you are putting yourself into financial distress. And if people are under financial distress, might then make them succumb to corruption. This is a measure, anti-corruption measure per se, to my understanding. People might have a different interpretation. To my understanding, this is an anti-corruption disease, but this is what he did by ignoring the service rule. Malang consistently flawed national laws and social security regulations to satisfy his selfish interests. His actions have resulted in his net salary falling below the required threshold, contrary to social security service rules and labor laws, stipulated that take-home pay should be at least 50% of the gross salary. His take-home pay is less than 30%, violating established financial protocol. That's why when you apply loans to banks, not only they check if you can pay it back, but they check again because they have to make sure they are ethical. They are not putting people under pressure by giving them loan when they cannot pay it, or they might put them under pressure. That's why this labor law and the Social Security Act said, no, you have to make sure at least 50% of your salary. His take-home pay is less than 30% at now. It's at less than 30% and now because of the amount of loan he took. But again, understand the loans he gets from Social Security are cheap. He's abusing, and he took it when he should not have taken it at that time. Let's continue. Malang abuse of Social Security resources extended to frequent and unnecessary travel, costing the corporation significant funds. Over the past 2 years, he has traveled more than 10 times to various countries, including Morocco, Dubai, and Switzerland. These trips are often unrelated to his role, where the expense of technical staff who have not had travel opportunity for years. His predilections for travel is stark indication of his misuse of per diem funds. Again, this is the reason why there are service rules, to make sure you don't utilize facilities to the extent of you earn less than 50%. Now he is using, according to the allegations here, you can see that now he will look at avenue, and that's why we said it promotes corruption or foster corruption, because you're looking at avenue to make money on this per diem travel. This per diem travel, as indicated by the allegations, that is kind of abuse, because most of it is not for him. It's for technical staff, not for him as a managing director. Because if he was competent enough as a managing director, there are certain, when we look at it, there are certain certain things he goes for training or familiarization, which he should not need to, because his competency would have covered that. That's why it's important to get the people with competency. You don't need to retrain them. You don't need to train them or waste resources on this. But you support the technical staff that do most of these other stakes. Social security stakeholders are increasingly frustrated with Malang's frequent absence from crucial meetings. This is an allegation, and we did check, and it's verified. He often dodged his responsibility by not showing up for work, especially after his travel trips, working days after public national holidays, or days after his casual leave. His frequent absence are well known among staff and further exacerbated by the corporate leadership issues. Again, this fact, in fact, when we had this to investigate, we had to hold to prove this. And our insider said to us, just wait. Don't publish anything till after Tobaski. He said when the Tobaski finished, the day we should be resuming, he will not resume. Guess what? We waited that day that staff resumed up to 2 o'clock, 2 p.m., around 1 or 2 p.m., because I think it shows 2 p.m. on here, should be 1 p.m. in the Gambia. He did not, he did not show up about midday or so. They contacted me. He have no show at office. I put it on social media on Facebook. Guess what? Within an hour, he showed up because of it. He had been held accountable on social media. Someone must have forwarded him. Oh, they saying that you are not here, and he turned up. That's another proof of what we say. Since Malang assumed his role in 2022, Social Security finance statements have consistently received qualified auditor opinions, indicating significant financial reporting and accounting issues. Again, this is not only an allegation, it's a fact. It's a fact. If you go and look at the financial statements, that's why I said it's easy. Go to the website, look at the financial statements. It's a fact. It continued. The 2022 and 2023 financial statement readily available on Social Security website confirm this audit concerns. The financial mismanagement jeopardized the pensioners and stakeholders who rely on the corporate integrity and transparency and tarnish Social Security reputation. The reputation has taken years to build. You see, they're redoing all the good work that the reform process started. And as I said, the proof is there. And now, let's come to it. Something we covered before. It is covered before from a different contact. This person brought it back again, and now it has appeared in the financial statements. And when President Barrow said he was going to sue me, it was based on these allegations. Now the allegations, the evidence is out there. People who were asking for evidence, I had the evidence then, because I could have collaborated everything I said, and if complied by produce, by court of law, they would have produced evidence. Now, because some of these things, the evidence will be there, but they bank on Gambians would not read, Gambia would not investigate, and they bank on buying the press house, most of the press houses, or the lack of capacity on press houses, or self-censored with press houses now scared of being taken to trial. They would not get into it. This is it. The failure to sign the purchase agreement for 70 buses for Gambia Transport Service Company, GTSE, a deal worth approximately 900 million, had led to a significant loss of potential interest income, estimated at over 300 million in just 2 years. Because of his greed, Barrow's greed, this is one of the reasons Mohamed Manya was removed. He wanted Tariq Musa and TK Motors and Mohamed Jah to buy buses for GTSC. Look, it was not prudent. It's going to be a problem, and we are not going to back this. No, then he managed to bring his friend, to back this up, and this is what they did. Now that agreement cannot be signed, but Social Security kind of put their money, because GTSC would not, because they did not demand the bosses. Can you believe that? GTSC did not demand the bosses. It was done from the directive from President Barrow. And Salum Malang and the board went and accepted this. Today, this investment failed. Where we go? But not only that, he has already failed, in a sense that the profit deprived from that investment is 300 million. 300 good million. And I can say this is not only the thing, the other thing is the overinflated price of buses. Go and look at the cost. I have produced the prices of these buses before. Everybody know that it was a scam. It continued. This financial misstep had compounded into a total loss of 1.2 billion in pension savings. Compounded to 1.2 billion in pension savings. The gravity of this financial neglect underscore Malang's incompetency and his complete disregard for financial responsibilities. Check the Social Security website. This is not something made up. Let him come and answer this directly. He will not. Let him take us to court. Simple. Let's move on. The action of MD Salum Malang demand immediate action. The government of President Barrow must urgently direct the National Audit Office to conduct a comprehensive investigation into Social Security operation. This is not just to protect the pensioners and the national finance health, but also to avert the potential collapse of Social Security. It's very clear. But I can tell you, Barrow would not do that. The National Audit Office, I don't question their integrity. If they get in there, they will do the job. But they will try by all means for them not to get in there. And this is what we're asking for. Let's investigate. These are the allegations, and we said that, in fact, the evidence is plain sight. It's out there, accessible to the, because they have to report their financial statements. And whatever they do, they cannot manipulate the figures. It's out there. Jamaican, that's why they don't have to the same, because of, but as I said, that's why we celebrate this democracy. They have to put it out there. As I said, if not, we are risking the collapse of Social Security if this continues. This scenario poses a significant risk to the country. Swift action is key to restore integrity and accountability within the corporation. If government does not immediately authorize the National Audit Office, the Public Enterprise Committee should. The Public Enterprise Committee should. I cannot vouch for the integrity of that committee, but they should. This is plain. Now, I can tell you, there are so many. As I said, we don't have the capacity to, just concentrate on one and continue going, because there's something coming here and there. We try to do it prudently as we can, take what we can. But again, there are some obstacles, because there will be possible arguments of some of these things. But again, two things. One of the insiders we deal with said to us, there's one that we cannot talk about because it's an investment. And that investment, if we talk about it, it might cause problem with the investment. But we are looking at a way to deal with it. It's an investment. We are looking at a way to deal with that issue. But I can tell you there are so many. And there are others that we are going to touch on. We are finding a way to go through around it, to convince the people involved to let us. We're trying to look at other areas we can use that evidence against the managing director and the chairman of how he created this environment they're doing. The trust placed in MD Malang by the top executive to deliver for the pensioners and owners of Social Security has been grossly misplaced. His tenure has been marked by corruption, financial mismanagement, and blatant disregard for organization rules and national laws. The government and the relevant authority must act decisively to rectify these issues and protect the interest of all stakeholders involved. You see, I am not in agreement with this statement, but we have to publish it, because we have to accept people's opinion. Because I know that for definite, Barrow put him there not for prudency or to be doing things right. He put him there in order to create the situation where they can get what they want. But again, it's not my view alone or our view from Open Gambia. This is a view of someone else. We are representing a view of someone else. Are they putting it out there? It's someone's view. This is important for people to understand. We don't dictate what comes out. Yes, we are very careful that make sure what comes out is true. And people's opinion, if they are respectful, we are bound to accept. Now, to come to this is what transpired. Then something developed, and I want to go into that quickly too. This is about because as I said, the insider here is not does not mean someone that directly work in operations of Social Security. No. Remember, Social Security have other people organizations that they interact that will come across this. And that's why all this evidence was out there, and someone who understands finance and economics, can point us to all this, just as we're doing with the central bank now. Now, there's a Social Security WhatsApp group that have over, the WhatsApp group have over 400 staffs. but it's not that active. It's about 15 staff, just as you know WhatsApp groups are. But something happened. Because when we publish this, we have lots of feedback. We have lots of feedbacks from people within Social Security itself. And some of them, in fact, did not fully understand what was going on. For them, it was like, oh, our benefits are better. Now we have more benefits now. Probably, and as MD Malang is trying. Some of them, we understand their naivety, or as human, they just looked at their interests. But when we had a conversation with explain for the greater good, they admit, say, oh, I never see it that way. They admit. Then some of them alerted us. The next day alerted us, oh, be careful. In our WhatsApp group, the managing director, Salu Malang, is kind of rallying his supporters, what do you call them, in order to come and for public relations, this thing to come attack. Let me go through the article, it will be easier. Social Security Managing Director on a public relationship assault against the Open Gambia platform. I mean, and let me say this, they have been respectful throughout. Everything they put in their WhatsApp forum was respectful. There was no insult, there was no personal attack to anybody. Not to Open Gambia, not to me or anybody else. They just had their reservations, they had their feelings, and they share it, which we encourage. But what we said that let them not be selfish, and we go through that. On Thursday, Open Gambia platform received numerous messages and screenshots from the Social Security Finance Corporation WhatsApp forum, indicating that their managing director, Salu Malang, was rallying his support staff to debunk our publication in comment sections and determine the source of the information to us. Two things they try to achieve. Try to have a public relations to debunk it through the publication we do, and trying to find out who the source is or the insider. Now, when we got that, we said, okay, wait. I said to the guy, we will lay an ambush. We will not react. Even though I've seen the evidence, I said, let's see whether they will live up to it. I saw some people started to ask, demand requests to be added in the Open Gambia, forum, open space. I accepted them. I do my due diligence. I know where they work and what position they held. And some of these people, I'm not going to name their names. As I say, it's not personal. And I don't want to name their names and someone else pick it up there to attack them personally or not. That's not what we do. But I could have done that. But no, I will not do that. It's not right. But I know who they are. But there was these things that they're into. Some people, some of them were directly linked to these things. And down the line, we know they have facilitated certain things that they're benefiting from what Salu Malang is doing. It's not strange. Now, the information regarding MD Malang public relations effort to boost his credibility, debunk our article, and identify our sources was confirmed when we noticed contributions in our comment section from individuals actually identified from Social Security WhatsApp forum. When we saw their contributions, we went to the WhatsApp forum. We saw they commented in the forum, and it's proof that Salu Malang is trying to go on a public relation assault against our article, not against us. We respect, and that's why what we're doing is not to his personal life, but it's for his public life. The messages and screenshots from the Social Security WhatsApp forum revealed that they even share our article in their staff WhatsApp group, rallying support for MD Malang and praising him for providing the highest salary ever to the staff. Most of our insiders within the corporation told us that it is unfortunate that these people supporting MD Malang are doing so for the crumbs they are receiving and feeling they are favored. It is a sad situation. I know when people are desperate. I know when people are desperate. I mean, situations arises, you want to look after yourself. It can be very human. And that's why we advocate for environment that people would not be put in a position. That's why we talk about indignity. That they would do something that in a normal environment they would not have done. Because of the pressures, the inflation and mismanagement of the economy and so on, putting people in real pressure. And some people do physically take their own body. I mean, some people do commit crimes. Some people, I mean, we know of the other crimes that are in the streets. I mean, there's an implication of this corruption, fortunately. But the white-collar crimes, you see, even padam abuse and all those things are part of this. But as we said, some of these people are commenting and saying, oh, Malang is good to us because when he came, our salaries went up. Your salary would have gone up. With any good management would depend on it, your performance, on your performance of your productivity, performance of your assets, and so on and so forth. That's how it's measured. But in this case, it's the same thing that happened the Jammeh days, where things are made to be very good with staff. I mean, not all staff for that matter, some strategic staff in order to allow them and to shut them up, and they do what they want. This is the scenario Salum Malang is creating. This is the scenario he created with the board chairman. There are so many pacts he have created which are not even lawful, I mean, for the which are corrupt for the chairman. Now, continue. We know that many staff members commented on the staff forum only to curry favor with MD Malang or avoid being accused of leaking information to Open Gambia. There are around 400 staff members, yet fewer than 15% active on the WhatsApp, according to many estimates. You see, this is very dangerous. Because now, if you're in a forum, and the boss of the forum, this is the managing director, in the same forum, and they use their support staff to say that let's come and support our managing director. And someone like Ben Suwareh, Aisha to Mariama Fatu out there decided no. I think there's merit to these allegations and the managing director have to deal with this. And it's good that he's been held accountable. They decided not to participate. Guess what? They might have looked at, you see, he have not, she have not, he have not. There might be the people against the managing director. This is what will come out. The others will do it. Oh, let me do it so that the managing director will know that I support him. If I support the managing director, then I can have promotion, I can ask for things, I can do this, I can secure myself. It's not a good management. This is what we deducted from the comments. As I said, we had the screenshot. We could have shared the screenshot to make it flurry and anything, but no, we are not against the staff. We are not even against the managing director. It's just accountability. Then we should be responsible, not to put even people's name out there that they might just and most of these people, I mean, as I said, they are victim of trying to do something about it. I said we continue. We advise MD Malang that his approach is ineffective, and in managing the situation, he is likely to create hate among his staff and victimize innocent people. No amount of public relations and relationship can clear his image when the allegations are irrefutable. Have irrefutable evidence. Sorry, the allegations have in plain sight visible from the financial statement on the company website. The allegations are clear. The evidence is out there. On the website, their own website. I did not put it there. They put it there. They have to put it there because of the democracy we live in today. Even though they're trying to undermine that democracy. But again, what he's doing is trying to identify who. What I am explaining, in fact, to show you that, look, we have this access. It's just based on research. The insider is someone who went in to look at your performance. And other people, things came up. With that performance, we did our investigations. That's where we find the other stuff. It's not someone from Social Security running to us. No. There are many ways you investigate. In most cases, people coming from within the institution to us, we are very apprehensive. Doesn't mean that we don't listen to them, because we see a lot of conflict of interest. We find ways to deal with that too. But as I said, if you go in there, you can see the proof. The 2002-2003 financial statement is out there, evidence is out there. But as I said, our next article will reveal how MD Malang and board chair Remy Joyner illegally approved the building loan for MD Malang, and how the two operate to benefit themselves at the expense of the pensioners. As I just narrated there, but we'll publish this again. If MD Malang is confident of his innocence, he can take legal actions against us or answer the allegation honestly. That's all. Go to the law or come out and answer it honestly. We can, come back on you. She said, you have not referenced the financial statement. We are pointing at the financial statement as our evidence. Can you debunk this? They are your financial statement. Debunk what the auditors, what is in that statement you put out there. But again, we have other things that we cannot share for now. These are opinions. Audit opinions we have. These are letters we have. And he knows that they exist. He knows these things exist. What he doesn't know, how we get it. But again, remember, Social Security is not an island. They had to correspond. Let's move on. We live in an information age. MD Malang cannot hide any information from public interest concern. Modern management leadership required an open approach to sharing information and a whistleblower charter to combat corruption and foster transparency. If he's confident, he can take us to court or come and answer correctly. But in the day and age we are, information is shared, and he cannot stop that sharing of information. Just as in the places of a WhatsApp forum, he thought his WhatsApp forum was this thing. But many interests, people are there who are there for the public interest. They might work under you, but their loyalty to you is when you do right. When you don't do right, their loyalty is to the public interest. That's why I said public interest concern. And public interest concerns are in different areas. They are in the audit office, they are at the president's office, they are at the finance ministry, and all the stakeholders. They are within the board, they are within your employees. That's why I said we are in an information age where these things are readily available. In fact, when you know where you look, because again, you have to provide these financial statements. They are not easily manipulatable. And people who can understand this, as I said, I am an expert in finance, economics, and other things, but we have a team that include people from different backgrounds. And what we do is discuss these things, which help me to present it, but help us to publish it as well. Sorry. Then the follow-up, I'm almost out of time. We said the follow-up is here. If transparency is key, and in fact, what corporations do now is we should blow a charter, go and create one. If you are confident, then you will avoid all this, and everything will come in and will be dealt with within and outside. Have a with fear confidence of your integrity. If you don't have that confidence, but it will not happen. But he is looking away of getting away with it, trying to send people to contribute, which we welcome in the dialogue. We advise the staff members of Social Security not to be selfish. It's not an insult. It's not to be self-centered. Some of this they beginning now is an immediate benefit, but the long term they will be pensioners themselves. But not only that, if things keep on moving this fast, they might be out of work. They might be out of work soon. And these are all things they need to look at. Let them not be selfish, we advise. Their loyalty should be to the members, including themselves, and pensioners of Social Security, supporting their managing director only when he is doing the right thing. their interest is for doing that. And that's what they are now, is their benefits. Let them not see it as something to incentivize them to say that, oh, the managing director did this for us. To support the managing director when it's doing right, when it's doing wrong, you should not. Just ask your own family member, especially someone who is appointed to lead, someone who is appointed in this as for trust. Their token benefits should not override the greater good. We do not want corporations to return to the old days of dictatorship when it nearly collapsed. We encourage you to contribute your honest opinion to the dialogue. That's all we're talking about. We are not enemies. I'm not here for a private life, castigate anybody. That's why I did not go out there to publish your personal listing. The role of the Open Gambia platform is to hold people, systems, and institutions accountable, not to target individual or sever any conflict of interest. We will share the comments made by social security staff taken from their WhatsApp forum. However, we will refrain from sharing screenshots to protect the staff identity and avoid encouraging personal attacks. That's what we'll do. It's still under consideration because we're still monitoring how they're going to behave. It's still under consideration, but we are not likely to do it. But let me just do this, just to share, for understanding mindset. As I said, it's only deprived from sort of a selfish interest, deprived from sort of a kind of a protecting their themselves or from being detected. I'll try just to not to call name. He said the name of the person. You are right. Every staff in this office take a car loan, building loan, and others. So I don't think it's very even important to mention. It's on social media. We are now very proud of mentioning our salary status because of Mr. Salum Malang. Long live Mr. Malang, to our noble institution, and may God protect you from evil. What he's not saying, that we are not saying that they are not entitled to loans. What we're saying that they should not abuse it. There's a policy to say that you have to be at least 2 years. Why is he taking all these loans? Because he's taking these loans because they're cheap when he's within his first year. Not only that, there are policies to say that you should not take take loans or incur costs that would ensure that your take home is less than 50%. This is both service rules of social security, but against labor law. Because of, again, for not to put you in financial distress, and it's a measure for corruption and to avert these things. And another one said, I'm not going to, Honorable Mr. Malang, your foot soldiers stand by you and be assured we can go any length to defend you. This so-called social castigation should not change anything. We are considered low in the office, but our tentacles in this country can go far beyond imagination. Or all shall be well with you and good genius, genuine staff. And it continued. He said, this other person said, Alhamdulillah, that Allah is on the side of MD. Solidarity for MD Malang is what is called for. I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue protecting you and all your management team and staff who are in your service, and perish all those who are evil against you. Subhanallah. La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Amen. These are the things they do doing in the name of Allah. The other one said, I concur, and we can start by flooding the comment section of the post with positive remarks to show solidarity. That's the propaganda. Given the trend, any of us can be castigated likewise. We should all remember this famous statement of Pastor Martin Nicotla. First, they come for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was a communist. Then they come for the socialists, and I did not speak speak out because I was not a socialist, then they come for the trade unions. I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist, then they come for the Jew, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew, then they come for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. We believe we better speak out to nip this in the bud. You see, that's the sad thing. It's like mob mentality for them. What is talking about is very valid, but against who? Against the public interest. This is about a mob mentality against the public. This, when you want to apply this about this thing, he should, if he believes in that, he should advocate for things to be spoken out there. But again, we all know why some of them doubted. And it continued and say, indeed, my brother, some of us recently read a negative publication relating to our institution on social media, and we have responded that to that effect through the same medium. As professionals, we should be amendable to resolving our problems internally rather than restoring to outlets that can not resolve such difficulties for us. We should remember that what goes around comes around. You see. And finally, let me just read this one, and that's what it said, it is indeed regrettable. We are harboring evil within us that hinder our progress, both individual and institutionally. If there are professional grievances against anyone or the institutional grievances, there are proper channels to address them rather than resort to social media to spread falsehood and tarnish the reputation. You see, this is dishonesty. The person knows that this is not a falsehood. It's dishonesty, and he knows that there are the channels. If they're there, he knows what comes out. That person will be victimized. They are not honest themselves. But what do you expect from some of them? Some of them. Others are doing it to protect themselves. If not, if they don't contribute, they'll be seen as an insider. And as I said, in China is not even a member of staff, but they don't get that. He continued to say. Every staff member benefits from loans, travel, opportunity, and other privileges. These are not unique to individuals mentioned by internal critics. Internal critics. Oh wow! You see, there are internal critics. He said. Now, previously, managing directors have enjoyed similar benefits, if not more. The key point is to unite as a family and seize the witch hunt. What Allah has destinated cannot be altered by man. Allah grant and reject his blessings is futile. Either support the cause or face consequences. You see? Support the cause or face consequences. And this is the person saying, oh, there's a transparent way of dealing with these things. I mean, that shows you, and if you know the person, I'm not going to name the person, but we know why the person is talking this way. They are part of the people that benefit unjustly. Either support the cause or face God. I mean, leaders are chosen and removed by Allah in all. This is the hypocrisy. Again, misquoting a Quran or putting it in a wrong context, thinking that they are holier than thou. Allah said, it is wise to support and advance the leader's agenda. If objection arises, they should be handled professionally. Ultimately, we cannot tolerate such discord within our ranks. It is the duty of reasonable staff to expose wrongdoing to prevent its recurrence. We all know each other here, and those capable of such act are under suspicious. Let us be vigilant. Let's avoid. This is the hypocrisy, the contradiction with the same person. Post misquoting the Quran in context and contradicting themselves. I mean, guys, as I said, it was going to be brief. It's brief. I am 13 minutes out of time, but I will come back again. And those who came out come late. Sorry, I didn't have time to summarize, but you can watch the programs from the beginning. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. Thank you, Jobis, for your support to the platform. Thank you very much, Chase. Jobis Job, I'll come for the Tobaskido. Thank you.